Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the show. My name is Tara, and by the graciousness of the market, it is providing me an opportunity to show you one of the features built into the Fibs indicator that doesn't get used very often, but today is the perfect day for it. So the green levels on your chart are some higher time frame fibs. If I go out to the daily, because this is a daily fib, you see here this big engulfing at the bottom of the trend. Those are the candles that you want to use your higher time frame fibs for. And I've built it so that you just drag and drop this gray line onto whatever candle you want. It'll automatically fib it for you. And you want to pick out the big engulfing. See these little labels at the bottom of the candles? They're identifying engulfing candles. When you get an engulfing candle at the end of a trend, or when you think a trend is coming to an end, that's the candle you want to fib. So there's the one from the 31st, so a little over a week ago. Wasn't that interesting? Look where the price came to overnight. Huh, crazy that. Anyway, if I go back down to the 1 minute, the big gap up that we had over this whole Iran ceasefire, that's probably not going to last because it's all theatre and none of it's really true. This gap up, big ugly wick down, and then a big trend up on low volume overnight, and we just kind of chopped around between these two levels all day. Well, because of that gap up, the overnight fibs, which are our go-to 101 fibs that we use every single day, these grey ones and these white ones here, because of this gap up, these fibs are huge. They're absolutely massive. Normally, we're expecting them to be much, much closer. They're like 200 odd points away from each other, which makes them, yes, they're kind of useful still, but not that useful, really, from an intraday point of view. I mean, from one fib to another, like, how are you going to use that? So, this gives us the opportunity to use our backup fib. This is the 9 a.m. fib. 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And it is number 2. Enable 9 a.m. fibs. Today is a perfect example of when we would use this backup fib, if you will. So I'm going to enable it. It's going to come up in blue. There it is. So it goes from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and it fibs that range for you and automatically draws out your levels. And now you can see we've got some much more usable fib levels, and a few of them actually overlap here, like the 25020 price that we're just heading down to right now. That's overlapped. It's where we had our big consolidation earlier after we hit our higher time frame, the green fib there. But you can see, usually I don't use these fibs, but they do come in handy every now and then. It's the 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. range. And look where we went to today. I'm going to zoom in for you. Look at that. Look at that. From fib to fib, back to fib, rejection off the fib, back to a little bit of consolidation. Almost got it. We had some news here, which was, what news was it? FOMC minutes, that's right. Which was a big wick down and then a pump up and then a big dump. Funnily enough to another fib level, right? And now we're going down. I expect this to continue down, clear out this little FVG that we've got here on the 1 minute, which happens to be lined up at our 236 on the 9 a.m. fibs. And that is it, folks. That's all I wanted to show you today. On days like this, when your fib ranges, your daily, the terafibs, the main ones that we use, on days like this, when they're really far apart, if you want to have a backup fib, use the 9 a.m. fibs. It works exactly the same way, doing the exact same thing. The only difference is that it's doing the 9 a.m., 10 a.m. range. On days like today, it gives you intraday ranges. When there's like a big gap up overnight, that's when you want to use it. And that's it, folks. I'll leave it there. More videos coming as well. And do try the indicator out. You get it free for a trial. And it's part of the scalper pack, which is linked below. You also get it in the everything pack, because that includes everything. And you can overlap your indicators if you want to have, like what I do. My kind of base indicators, if you will, are fibs and cycles. I really like cycles. It's really important liquidity levels. And I have these blocks on, which hopefully you can see on the, I know my charts are a little bit dark. I am going to make some charts that will be easier for you guys to see on the YouTube there. But yeah, cycles kind of overlap your 15-minute opening range breakout from New York Orb, as well as the 90-minute cycles, which are incredibly important in my opinion, as well as London session, Asia session, previous day, weeks, months. In fact, that's a good point. I'll mention it now just briefly. The top, the very, very top, was a single 1 minute candle sweep of the previous monthly high. We've rejected off of it ever since. I'm telling you, cycle levels are very important. Have them on your chart. It's why the cycles is included in everything. Every single, I would never have cycles. I would never not have it on my chart. The cycles and fibs are kind of like your key levels intraday. You can see when price just gravitates towards these levels constantly. Look here, look there. I mean, it's just amazing. I love it. And you can use all these levels as take profit, as well as the other indicators as well. Because here's another point that I'll quickly make just to finish off the video. In the last few videos, I've been talking about I'm going to go to the hourly to show you this. I've been talking about I use profile, which maps out my weekly point of control from the weekly volume profiles. Price always, not 100%, but very, very, very often will travel to the weekly point of control. See all these, see them all? They go back in time, back in time. Every single one of them has been hit now. This past week, last week was this level here. We hit that on Monday. The week before was this level that we hit last night. And now we're starting to stage, after hitting the monthly high just above it, we're starting to stage a little bit of reversal. And because this whole move up was done on low volume, I'm expecting a little bit of a pullback. However, we're coming out of a macro, higher time frame, daily low. If you know about cycle theory, then you'll know that be bullish. Don't look for the bear market to continue down. These moves up that we've been seeing this past week and a half, very bullish. I think the bear market's going to continue. I don't think it's going to continue tomorrow. Okay, so don't jump the gun on going short. Let the trend continue up as high as it wants to go first. And to kind of summarize, on days like today, when you get big gap ups and our fib levels are just really far apart, the 9 AM fibs are your backup. Just click the button, and all the settings should be default. You can change the color if you want to. You can make them yellow or light gray or whatever, whatever you want to do, right? You can change the colors. But there you go. That's it. That's all I wanted to show you today. Thanks very much. Links are in the description if you want to check out my indicators, and I'm very active on WAP. So if you have any issues, just message me there. I had one person who was struggling to get the indicator working, but we got them up and running. And you should be good. If you want any advice on settings and things like that, I'm always happy to help with this sort of stuff. Okay, speak to you in the next one, guys. Thanks very much.